Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Bintu Aliyu Sumbonu. President Muhammadu Buhari has met some critical APC stakeholders in furtherance of strategic engagements aimed at positioning the governing party in good state for the 2019 general elections. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
A delegation from Borno comprising Governor Kashim Shettima was the first to be engaged by President Muhammadu Buhari. Details of their discussions, which lasted about 1 hour behind closed doors, were not made public, and efforts to hear from any one of them were unsuccessful. The president thereafter granted audience to the national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, perhaps in response to the grievances of some stakeholders who could not get the party's tickets for the 2019 elections. The chairman told newsmen that he is not unmindful of the mounting pressure from some quarters for his removal, saying, however, that he is unperturbed.
I remain a friend to these governors. I respect them. I appreciate them. I even appreciate them for the fact that, but for their support, I will not be chairman. And you do not go stepping on toes of those who supported you to get to a position. But however, I thought I was clear, and I remain clear, that in helping me to get to the position, it was to help APC to return to its core values of progressive politics, of fairness, of justice, of adherence to rule of law, and obedience, total submission to the extant provisions of our party constitution. And in doing that, you don't look at power, you look at what is right, what is just. I think that with time, we will reconcile all this.
Former Lagos State Governor and chieftain of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who also met President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors, reacted to calls for the removal of Adams Oshomole from office.
We all have to respect the party's supremacy. Party is supreme. Party must be respected. Abuses will not do it. Anger will not do it. You know, it's party politics. Somebody will win, somebody will lose. Too bad.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu used the forum to restate his conviction that the governing APC remains the party to beat in the forthcoming elections.
People are free to meet and strategize in any way they form. But we are not going back to the illusion of PDP. It's not possible. Nigeria will not do that. We can't go back to the pit that we inherited. The forces there, they can strategize and come anyway. But a leopard cannot change its skin.
The APC chieftain said his discussions with President Muhammadu Buhari also centered on the state of the nation, peace, stability, and economic development of the country. From the State House, Adamus.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 150 projects with a view to addressing the ecological challenges across the country. These and more were the fallouts of the 12th National Council on Environment holding in Akure, Ondo State. Doris Olumoko reports.
About 2,890 ecological challenges are being faced by Nigeria, which are majorly erosion-based. In Ondo State, for instance, the people of Ayetoro, a riverine community in Ilaje local government area of the state, are dealing with the devastating effect of sea incursion, which has now attracted the attention of the federal government.
We are appealing to you to please come to the aid of Ayetoro community and see how we can introduce the short time, medium, and the long term so that we can quickly address the issue of Ayetoro community.
But people living in coastal areas, as well as small island states across the nation, are facing the problem of being displaced from their homelands. This is not something to rejoice about. This is not something to complain about. This is not something to talk extensively about it. This is something to act about.
Other states of the Federation are battling with one environmental problem or the other.
Flooding, erosion, and they are all largely as a result of climate change.
Because we are on the lower side of Nigeria, we are severely impacted.
The protection of the natural environment against pollution and degradation, as well as the conservation of natural resources for sustainable development in Nigeria, is the major thrust of this gathering. The 12th National Council on Environment, with the theme Environment and Security, consolidating Nigeria's environment sector reforms towards sustainable development, deliberates on these issues.
Currently, in the office, Ecological Fund Office, we have a total request of 1.4 trillion naira. So the recommendation going forward is we want to see a situation where the state governments also begin to work complementary to that of federal.
The participants at the 12th National Council on Environment agreed that environmental issue is a global one which cannot be ignored. Therefore, the need for concerted efforts to tackle it. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
Moving on now, the Senate Committee on National Population Commission has called for the suspension of the 2018 recruitment exercise by the Commission over alleged violation of the Federal Character Principle. Chairman of the committee, Suleiman Hunkwi, gave this directive during his visit to the Commission's office in Abuja. John Yakuk reports.
On National Identity Card and National Population Commission, Suleiman Hunkwi, who was there on oversight, focused on recruitment in the commission, budget releases and expenditures for 2018, vital statistics on birth and death, inflow of foreign funds, and preparations for 2020 population census. The committee frowned at the 2018 recruitment exercise in the commission, which it described as overblotted and lopsided in favor of southeastern region.
He committed names to local governments, states, and geopolitical zones. And what we saw was definitely alarming.
The committee was also not happy with the engagement of a private firm in a public-private partnership by the MPC for civic registration in Nigeria without details of the company and knowledge of the National Assembly.
On the profile of the company, I have issues. Yes, I do.
Similarly, the committee queried the Commission's 2018 released capital and recurrent expenditures without following due process of procurement. It therefore requested for more details of the expenditures of the Commission.
The issues you have been raised have been noted.
On preparations for 2020 population census, the committee asked the Commission to write to the Presidency for a proclamation on the 2020 census, which will make 2019 a year of preparation. In Abuja, John Yaku, NTA News.
And on security matters, security experts have condemned in strong terms the recurring violent protests and wanton destruction of properties by the Shiite sects in parts of the country and the Federal Capital Territory. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria say democracy should not be used as a guise for flagrant violations of law and order and disregard for national security. Lydia Sampson tells us more.
Time now, the members of the Shiite sect have been carrying out violent protests in parts of the country and the FCT. Few days ago, the members attacked the military and police personnel at various points in the FCT, setting ablaze vehicles and injuring the personnel. The guests are unanimous that in democracy, the freedom of expression as well as peaceful protests are channels to convey grievances. They, however, lamented that undermining state security apparatus cannot be condoned.
I think the Office of National Security Advisor should lead that. It has the capacity to coordinate the functions of the various security departments in the country.
We have a zone where these people are carrying gun, they carry petrol weapon, they have stones.
Democracy is freedom, responsible freedom. But let me tell Nigerians today that democracy has teeth and democracy can bite.
it is better for them to actually accept to be Nigerians, or they should relocate to Iran and do whatever they wish to do. But much as they wish to remain in Nigeria, they must submit to the laws and regulations governing every citizen in Nigeria.
The Inspector General of Police have directed what we call confidence building patrol within the FCT and other states that are contiguous to the Federal Capital Territory. He has equally directed the Commissioner of Police in charge of those states where they are prevalent that they should be on red alert with their personnel.
Key perpetrators of the Shiite unrest in Abuja and environs, including 400 persons arrested by the police, have been charged to court. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Now, talking welfare, the Nigerian Air Force says it will continue to place premium on personnel welfare through provision of basic amenities to boost their morale and enhance efficiency in the discharge of their duties. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, affirmed this while inaugurating housing units for personnel in Bauchi State. Mahmoud bin Muhammad reports.
All the assets that you have as an organization, the most important one that you have are the human beings that operate that organization.
Those were the words of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, through the Chief of Administration of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Kingsley La, at the inauguration of housing units for personnel of the force at the Nigerian Air Force Base, Bauchi. The Nigerian Air Force, he says, is now more than ever ready to meet up with its constitutional responsibility of protecting the territorial integrity of the nation.
And I'm not surprised. If you look at it, generally speaking, the Nigerian Air Force personnel that are deployed to various sectors to contain security challenges, from the feedback we are receiving, they are working very hard. And the hard work, you cannot separate it from the quality of the welfare services that are available to them.
He, however, acknowledged the support of the federal government to the nation's armed forces towards tackling all security challenges facing the nation. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
Now, wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, has called on Nigerian artists to positively channel their talents towards promoting harmonious coexistence among Nigerians. Mrs. Buhari said this during the launch of a musical album dedicated to President Muhammad Buhari for the laudable achievements of his administration. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the event was initiated by Northern Nigeria music artists in Abuja.
The musical album is a collection of songs put together by the Northern artists under the platform known as Northern Nigeria Music Artists. The album is basically in Hausa, titled Sakamakon Chenji, meant to express gratitude and support for the leadership role of President Muhammad Buhari of good governance, anti-corruption campaign, and the desired economic prosperity encapsulated in the change agenda of this administration. It is also aimed to promoting President Buhari's campaign for massive victory come 2019. While applauding the artists for their resilience in upholding their support to this government since inception, the wife of the president has called on them to redouble their effort in extending the message of peace and indivisibility of the country through their music and entertainment.
As artists, you are using your creativity to inform the populace and mobilize them towards good behavior, towards good practices, and towards good choices. I can safely say that you all have done the needful, and therefore you are partly to take credit for the improved governance that Nigeria is enjoying today.
Mrs. Buhari also emphasized on the need for them to engage in work that will promote violent-free society and the dangers of abuse of any form and human trafficking.
Today, we will use this opportunity to launch your latest contribution titled Sakamakon Chenji, which is true complement to this administration.
She assured them of her full support in the good job they've been doing in educating the public, adding that she remains committed in strengthening synergy towards advocacy to promote the living standard of Nigerians, especially women and children. Various artists comprising Aminu Ala, Ado Gwanja, Fatih Niger, Abubakar Sani, Adamu Zango, Audu Bode and Musa Mani, among others, took turns to showcasing their talents in their contribution to promoting the administration of President Muhammad Buhari, and remains committed to that regard for the victory and successes they promised, to maintaining the spirit in educating the public on the impact of the good policies and programs of this government and its positive direction. An award was presented to the artists participated in the album by the wife of the president in recognition of their contribution towards promoting peace and stability of the country established by the Buhari's late administration.
I can tell you that Kannywood is all out now to support the government of Buhari-led administration through our, entertainment, be it music, dramas and what have you.
So this award will encourage the newcomers to the film industry, so that they will come and join us to give their contribution towards the achievement of the federation, not only the Kannywood itself.
Various speakers applauded the initiative, describing it as a milestone in the quest of promoting President Buhari's administration of transparency and development. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Hello. This is Nationwide. We now go on a commercial break. More news after. Stay tuned.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
The Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, FECS, FIIM, invite you to NITDA's annual E-Nigeria conferences, exhibitions, and award, a platform for brainstorming on emerging technologies, local innovation, and relevant ICT issues for the socio-economic development of Nigeria. Theme: promoting a digital economy in an era of disruptive technologies through effective regulation. Date: 5th to 7th November 2018. Venue: International Conference Center, Abuja. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Special guest of honor: His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief host: Barrister Adebayo Shitu, Minister of Communications. Keynote speaker: Malam Nuhu Ribadu, Pioneer Chairman, EFCC. For registration, visit enigeria.gov.ng. For inquiries, call 0809-447-1979 or 080-33-111-402.
Get your kitchen weapons ready. Get your skills warmed up, because in this game, the seasoned warrior wins. Get ready for Norte's Quest 5, the special anniversary season, showing on DSTV Africa Magic Family and GoTV Africa Magic on Sundays at 7 p.m. and 6 p.m. on NTA and AIT. Norte's Quest, Battle of Flavors.
NTA Television College, Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is organizing a 2-week course in Archival Management System of Broadcast Media. Date: 5th to 16th November 2018. Venue: NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Course fee: 100,000 naira per participant accommodation inclusive. The course will equip participants with the techniques of automating recordings, cataloging, and analyzing media for storage and productions. Come and take advantage of this course to sharpen your skills in maintaining, conserving, and utilizing the archival system. For more information, please contact us on the following numbers: 0806 980 9807, 0803 314 4383. TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
It's good to have you back on Nationwide. Lagos is our first stop on Nationwide as Ambody addresses students on Ready, Set, Work program. Elizabeth is our guide.
Hello, Bintu. It's nice to see you and welcome to Lagos. The Lagos State government has reiterated its commitment to providing qualitative entrepreneurship training for students across tertiary institutions in the state through its Ready, Set, Work program aimed at preparing them for the job markets. Nosa Osula reports.
According to Governor Akilmi Ambody, the vision of the Ready Set Work is that every graduate from a tertiary institution in Lagos must have the knowledge, skills and attitude required to gain meaningful employment or be self-employed.
By investing in people with programs like Ready Set Work, Code Lagos and the Employment Trust Fund, we are providing platforms that will nurture a society of problem solvers, change makers, and value-adding citizens, helping to improve our economy.
The special advisor to the governor on education, Obafela Bank Ulemo, explained that the program is in line with government's commitments in ensuring that every student that graduates from any tertiary institution in Lagos State is prepared for work as an employer of labor or a value-adding employee.
Over 400 institutions in this state of ours has opened up their businesses and taken thousands of interns and also paid those interns.
Ready Set Work is a 13-week intensive entrepreneurship and employability training program initiated by the state government. Upon completion, participants are put on paid internship in partner companies, while those whose business ideas are deemed best are given seed funds. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
In line with its commitment to the federal government's policy of improving ease of doing business in the country, the Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, says with effect from the 1st of November this year, product registration certificate will no longer be required for cargo clearance at the ports. The Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma, disclosed this at a sensitization forum with auto parts dealers in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi covered the event.
Substandard products have remained a clog in Nigeria's bid towards industrialization, and the impact cuts across every sector of the economy. In view of this, the Director General Standard Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma, says the forum became necessary to educate the traders on the dangers of importing substandard products into the Nigerian market. He solicited for the support of the traders towards the fight against fake and substandard products, especially in the automobile industry.
Foreigners are welcome to invest in Nigeria. It is the duty of SON to safeguard and protect genuine investors, be it Chinese, Indian, American, or Nigerians. The important thing is to comply to our standards.
Other directors of the organization took turns to update the traders on the activities of the SON at improving life and businesses through standards regulation.
Be proud of yourself, and your suppliers will give you goods that meet the quality of Nigeria.
The president of the Market Association, as well as other members, comment.
Our country, Nigeria, is important to all of us. And that is why the federal government of the Republic of Nigeria is established to fight fake products.
The more you create awareness, people, some certain things they don't know about, they will learn. I'm free to ask questions.
A similar forum of awareness on dangers of substandard products, according to the organizer, has been held in Abuja.
The National Executive of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has aligned with the organized labor to commence nationwide strike on the 6th of November if the proposed national minimum wage of 30,000 naira is not implemented. This was contained in a 4-point communique issued at the end of next session held in Lagos. Mohammed Abdulkadri reports.
For weeks, the media has been awash with the demand for the implementation of the new national minimum wage by the organized labor. As the matter rages on, members of the Trade Union Congress gathered in this hall for the National Executive Council meeting to review the outcome of the sittings of the tripartite National Minimum Wage Negotiation Committee, which arrived at 30,000 naira.
Our position is for nothing less than allowing us to present our report to Mr. President.
The NEC in session appealed to the government to implement the new wage for workers to boost productivity.
What we agreed was 30,000 naira. Anything outside that is not the true position of events.
On no work, no pay stance, NEC relied on the provision of the International Labour Convention 87, to which Nigeria is a signatory, which allows the workers and employers to have the right to manage their affairs. TUC maintained that Nigerians are willing to pay for electricity consumption, but decried a situation where over 60% Nigerians are being subjected to estimated billing system. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdulkadri, NTA News.
Time now to join Ogo Chukwuka in our Benin Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Ogo Chukwuka.
Hello, Elizabeth. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us in Benin. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has inaugurated a 10-by-1 officers' transit quarters at 107 Air Maritime Group, Nigerian Air Force Base, Benin, with a charge on the officers to be civil in the discharge of their duties during and after the elections. Ubehi Otuba Prasai reports.
Representative of the Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Administration, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Kingsley Lai, handed the keys to the accommodation to the officers.
It is my honor and privilege to commission this 10-by-1 bedroom officers' accommodation to the benefit of our officers and to their comfort and to the glory of God and for the benefit of humanity.
Air Vice Marshal Kingsley Lai told the officers that the welfare of officers and their families is paramount to government.
I must take time to register my profound gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, for providing the funding that has enabled the Nigerian Air Force to provide this and other welfare services to its personnel.
His advice to them is also that they should not drag the name of the profession in the mud, especially as the country gets set for her general election.
You must be professional always. You must respect the rights of Nigerians and do all you can to ensure the safety of law-abiding citizens.
On our own part, we promise the Chief of Air Staff that this accommodation will be well taken care of, and we will continue to give our best in the discharge of our responsibilities.
This structure is the 4th project to be inaugurated by the Chief of Air Staff in different states of the Federation in the last 2 months. In Benin, Obehi Otuba Prasai, NTA News.
Government at all levels must synergize with journalists to spread the campaign of making agriculture the mainstay of Nigeria. This was brought to the fore by veteran journalists at an interactive session in Benin. Again, Obehi Otuba Prasai has details.
Agriculture sector contributed about 378 million naira to the country's GDP in the last quarter of this year, a drop from the 518 million naira realized in 2017. With the fall in oil price, there has been clamor for Nigeria to diversify the economy from total dependence on oil to agriculture. not only to meet the needs of the teeming population, but also for export. This time, the clamor for the nation's financial freedom through agriculture is coming from the Edo State chapter of the League of Veteran Journalists.
Our youth are not encouraged to go into farming, and this is the time that they should pass back to it.
The interactive session organized by the League of Veteran Journalists focuses on the role of the media and interpersonal communication channels to achieve set goals.
We want people to also use journalism to sensitize people in agriculture.
A lot of the vices in society today is as a result of hunger.
League of Veteran Journalists, under the umbrella of Nigerian Union of Journalists, has the vision to project the image of the union in the best practices worldwide. In Benin, Obehio Toba Presai, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. We'll now take a commercial break. The news continues shortly.
Fake news which is...
Before the commercial break, let's take some reports on health. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adeole, has pledged for more support for medical personnel in the area of surgical operations. He said this during a visit to University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, where the conjoined twins were successfully separated. Charity Zakka has details.
Vigorous procedure, which took several hours, the medical team had a breakthrough when they successfully separated the conjoined twins. The achievement was attributed to the outcome of a 3-month research by the medical team of the teaching hospital.
This is truly commendable, and I went to the VP to say, look, you've done it. And that's the second we are doing this year in Nigeria. When you've done well, I think we should celebrate you and also support you. One of the things we'll be doing is that when you do this type of thing, we'll find additional support for you to encourage you further. So that we can really promote competition among all of you.
We're lucky we have very skilled pediatric surgeons and support staff and estheticians.
The twins were born in June this year to the family of Buzug by Courage. In the meantime, the babies are under observation until they are certified fit for discharge. Meanwhile, Speaker House of Representative Yakubu Dogara has donated the sum of 1 million naira to the family through Aisha Children Foundation. Charity Zakka, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has launched a one-day roadmap for the implementation of national treatment and prevention of mother-to-child HIV/AIDS transmission. This, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adeole, said is one of the present administration's promises to make health care delivery accessible to the people. Basi Tahipan reports.
Health report of 2016 ranks Nigeria as the second highest HIV epidemic in the world and one of the highest new infection rates in sub-Saharan Africa. This record will soon be eroded with the various interventions by the federal government that have placed more than 1.1 million people under treatment. The roadmap is intended to effectively coordinate HIV prevention nationwide and mobilize resources for adequate implementation.
There is no reason why Nigeria should be a major producer of HIV-infected babies. We contribute about 30%. And our commitment under this program is to achieve elimination, and we believe that it is doable.
It was an opportunity for partners to x-ray their performances and chart a new direction for the success of the roadmap.
As far as HIV is concerned, is a flagship program. There is full commitment from the regional director and full commitment from the Director General as well. We cannot go anywhere without Nigeria.
That gives us also a responsibility to show to the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, to show to the rest of the world that we, Nigeria, we can take up this challenge and we can show to the rest of the world how to address this high burden.
Helena Khan of the Association of Women Fighting HIV and AIDS in Communities commended the initiative by the federal government with very high optimism that it will reduce HIV and AIDS prevalence in the country. Basi Taikban, NTA News.
Thank you there, Basi. Now, the National Human Rights Commission is collaborating with the United Nations Committee on Rights of Persons with Disability to host a convention that will further create enlightenment on the rights of such citizens. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
This handshake, accompanied by warm smiles, sealed the MOU signed by the NHRC and UNCRDP. This is expected to facilitate the enlightenment and address public view of people living with disabilities. The aim is to promote, protect, and ensure equal and rights of such people in line with the fundamental human rights.
It's also necessary so that we can also, so that stakeholders can also come together to push for the domestication of the United Nations Convention.
We ratified the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in 2010, and since then we've not actually reported to the committee on...
It's absolutely needed, and it will also bring the attention of disability in the country.
So we are getting international communities to come around Nigeria, raise awareness around the issues of persons with disabilities, and see how we can connect the supply side, donor agencies and government.
A convention that will facilitate the realization of the objective of the MOU is expected to be set up soon. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
Let's move to education now. Nigerian medical and dental students studying abroad have been urged to be serious with their studies, as they will be subjected to another qualifying examination in Nigeria before practice. This was during an assessment examination conducted by Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, for the students at the instance of Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. Abdullahi Musa Sleja reports.
The Act establishing the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria empowers the body to conduct qualifying examination for medical students who were trained abroad. That has been the norm if the graduate must practice. To catch up with global technological advancement, the Council leverages on the computer-based examination of JAMB for the doctors and dentists to function optimally when they start practicing.
Some of them train the UK, US, Canada, Ukraine, quite a lot of them train in Ukraine, Sudan, China, even some other African countries, Ghana.
Ours is just to provide a credible platform, a transparent system for willing agencies, and we will continue to do that. We're investing heavily in our infrastructure to ensure that they get the best.
The council said those who studied in Nigeria are exempted because their institutions have been accredited. Currently, 903 students are taking part in the assessment examination. Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
We now link up with Mohammed in Maiduguri to give us an update on Wednesday's attack on Dalori IDP's camp and some villages. Over to you, Mohammed.
Thank you, Bintu, and welcome to Maiduguri. 8 persons have been killed following Wednesday night attack by suspected Boko Haram insurgents on 2 villages and Dalori 2 IDP's camp on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Our correspondent reports that the attackers also destroyed private property, including a filling station in the 3 different locations. Dalori 2 IDP camp is situated less than 10 kilometers along Maiduguri-Konduga Road, neighboring Dalori main camp, Dangote village, and the 2 other affected villages. IDPs have been living here for 4 years undisturbed until Wednesday night when suspected Boko Haram gunmen stormed the area and started shooting sporadically, eyewitnesses said. Mustafa Wanzama, who narrowly escaped death in Abamalumti village and ward head of Kofa village, Modu Kofa, said the gunmen came around 8 p.m. in vehicles, calling out names of some of them, and set many houses ablaze, which left behind burnt livestock and foodstuff in the attack that lasted up to 1 hour. Officials of Borno State Emergency Management Agency, who were on ground assessing the situation, said the attackers burnt a total of 450 households in the 2 villages and Dalori 2 IDP camp.
According so far,
8 lives were lost. Then a lot of things have been burned, especially food items, animals, and what have you. So at this time of giving you this report, we are still going around to.
Those that fled the area during the attack have returned to their communities to count their losses and pick up the pieces of their lives, and called on relevant authorities to provide them with adequate security and relief to that effect. As at the time of this report, there was presence of security operatives in the area, while commercial and other activities have begun to resume on the axis situated along Maiduguri-Konduga Road.
Democracy provides human society the opportunity for advancement towards achieving human rights and freedom by playing politics according to the rules. However, some youths have changed this concept nowadays, as they seem to prefer getting involved with thuggery to drive home any political point as depicted in their actions. As political activities gain momentum, Paul Nkuje-Vana examines the implication of thuggery to democratic development.
The Not Too Young to Run bill, signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari, is part of effort by government to allow inclusiveness in political participation by increasing opportunities for women and youth through giving them a sense of belonging by streamlining their involvement in political activities to contribute to nation building. However, some youth have allowed themselves to become sacrificial lambs for the sustenance of the interest of some politicians who always have the impression that they are fighting for their right.
An idle man is a devil workshop, so I guess anyone who is idle could at least do whatever at least is being done for him to act to whatever is being called upon to do.
If they follow a certain strategy, for example, going to school, engaging yourself, advocating in the society, you one day, one time you become there. Why are you in the thuggery? The thuggery is not a solution.
If only our youth would understand that they are only being used for other people's selfish interests, then they would also think like me and do what is right. And we are the leaders of tomorrow. These are people that we should be looked up to. And instead of being looked up to now, we are being looked down onto, and we are being used as instruments of war. And then this waging war that we are doing here and today in Nigeria, we are not waging it against other people, but we're waging it against ourselves.
Like me right now, I have something to do. I have my shop. And anytime I go to my business, I'm doing anything which is very capable for me. How can I go to waste my time? If they use me and use my capacity, use my energy to do something, when something can happen else with me, nobody will recognize me.
Whatever the justification or not, youth involvement in thuggery undermines democratic development and youth chances of involvement to contribute to nation building.
Yes. Constitutes a fertile ground for recruitment of thugs. We will not even tolerate it from the politicians who engage them. So we'll stop at nothing in ensuring that the youths and the politicians who so engage them are ruthlessly prosecuted.
Borno State Police Commissioner Damian Chukwu called on the three major social institutions comprising education, family and religious bodies to ensure healthy political culture among youth by sensitizing people on what needs to be done. A cross-section of those interviewed believe that greatness is achieved through positive decision taken in youthful age. Hence the need to shun thuggery to various. Paul Nkuje-Vana, NTA News.
That's all for our contribution. Bintu is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you there, Mohammed. Now, members of the Buhari Support Organization have paid a condolence visit to the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Hamid Ali, over the death of his wife, Khadija Ali. Aliyu Tukur reports.
Hajia Khadija Hamid Ali, who had a protracted illness, finally answered the call of her creator on Monday. This prompted various political organizations and friends of the family to visit the Comptroller General of the Customs Service, who is also the national leader of the Buhari Support Organization, to condole with him over the death of his wife. Led by the national coordinator of the Buhari Support Organization, the group prayed for Allah's mercy on the soul of the deceased.
The only thing we can do for her now is to pray that may her soul rest in peace, and that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her al-jannatul firdaus, and may Allah continue to carry and protect what she left behind.
That she was our mother,
and all the hard days we went through during the days of being in opposition, she was there behind the scene, making sure that we are comforted.
She has been a very loving sister, a very loyal person.
We pray that where she is now is better than where she left.
Hajia Khadija Hamid Ali, who died at the age of 53, is survived by her husband and 4 children. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Let me take another breather. I will be back with more reports shortly.
News which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Join us every Saturday by 10 p.m. for Eye on the Road,
the program from the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA.
We'll bring you highlights of policies and programs on road maintenance. You'll hear from road users as well as those charged with maintaining the roads.
It's interactive, it's informative, it's educative.
It's Eye on the Road, showing Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Yeah, Modena. Do you have a yes, and Abula. Yes, black or white? Yamala. Have I ever eaten white amala here before? Yes, sir. Give me amala and abula. Do you have dodo? Dodo program. Good. Let me have some dodo. I want you to put the meat in a bowl. Shaki, supu, abodi. I like my edo to be very tender. You have stockfish? Yes, sir. Good. Let's have some stockfish. And the catfish, my favorite. Don't mind them. You have eggs. I would like 6 boiled eggs. No eggs. Okay, the catfish will do. And then rice. Rice and then some salmon. Look. Do you have a kuru?
It's glad to know that you're still tuned to Nationwide. Now for reaction on Kaduna security stakeholders meeting and other stories, let's join Rukaya in Kaduna. Hello, Rukaya.
Hello, Bintu, and welcome to Kaduna Network Center. President Muhammadu Buhari has rekindled the hope of many who believe that only the prosecution of those found guilty of formulating crisis could end the menace. Achari Maxwell has the details.
Will hunt and prosecute all those who sponsored these acts of violence. The federal government will take strongest measures possible to punish perpetrators of these crimes. If in the past they got away scot-free, we shall now hold everyone to account for these latest killings.
Yes, frank talk you may call it. The peace-loving people of Kaduna State have long expected moments like this to end the culture of impunity. Few days ago, violence broke out in Kaswa Magani, a popular market community, and spilled over to Kaduna metropolis, with loss of scores of lives and property. The latest mayhem is one of the series of ethno-religious conflicts in the state since the late 80s. Unlike the past, the security stakeholders this time around are on the same page with the president, They want perpetrators brought to justice.
Yes, I love that. He has already made that comment, and I let the policemen and the enforcement keep that law. Arrest them and prosecute them.
There are many commission of inquiries which the government used to keep it under the carpet.
Nobody should be treated as a sacred cow. If people, no matter how highly placed they are, if they commit one offense or the other, they should be prosecuted.
The visit of the president to Kaduna and the submissions at the stakeholders meeting have renewed the hope of the people that Kaduna will once again enjoy peace. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Army says it is poised to enhance regimentation discipline and professionalism in various operational units for effective discharge of its duties of national defense and security. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun reports that this came to the fore at the training of warrant and non-commissioned officers in Kaduna.
The 195 warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers drawn from various units under the 1 division of the Nigerian Army are scheduled for one-day training which seeks to promote effective leadership, regimentation skills, as well as guidance and counseling. The General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Mohammed says, being the bridge between the lower and senior cadre in the Nigerian Army, the officers need to work hard towards the implementation of the mission and vision of the Chief of Army Staff in promoting innovation and professionalism in the service.
We can't do it if you are not involved. We cannot get it right if you are not fully involved. And the only way out is to bridge that gap of knowledge between us, you, and our subordinates below.
Strategic and tactical planning are critical to the success in warfare and combat operations. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, NTA News.
Away from security matters, now on health, medical doctors under the umbrella of the Nigerian Medical Association in collaboration with other volunteers have provided medical checks and treatment to hundreds of flood victims in Jigawa State. Hawa Haliru Haruna has details.
There are currently more than 900 internally displaced persons taking refuge in our camp as a result of flood that ravaged the area. To control the spread of communicable and other common ailments, Jigawa State medical doctors provided relief materials and medical checks at the camp.
We saw about 600 patients in the camp. Majority are women of childbearing age, then children under 5s.
Compassionate bit, and of course it takes duty to bring people, a lot of people from far and beyond, some outside this country, specialist doctors who are busy every day and every hour of the 24 hours, 247, said, okay, let's come here and be compassionate.
Representative of the Emir of Hadeja, Ian Hadeja, Al-Hajj Abdul Qadir Majah Haruna, commended the initiative and called for permanent solution to flooding in the area. From Dutse, Hawa Hannara Haruna, NTA News.
And that's it from Kaduna Network Center. It's back to Bintu in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you, Rukaya. And now, Tamara Ebiwe will bring us sports update.
Touch of unity for the 19th National Sports Festival.